We're back, everybody. Hey, everybody, how are you? We're back, everybody. Thank you for subscribing, Chemiculture. We've got Pawnda April Rapid Arena, London Accelerated System version. Yes. Hello, streamer. Thanks for subscribing. We have a whopping 8 viewers already. So, yeah, candidates going on. Cinderella. I hadn't been paying attention to the last couple rounds. I saw the first round and then, but it looks like Cinderella is totally going off now with 3.5 out of 4, taking out Fabiano and becoming the new leader. But as I said, tell me that I told you so, but this is the problem with the system. You're always going to get a random winner in this one tournament, one tournament decides all format. It doesn't necessarily produce the best player. In fact, most often the best player is not going to win, this individual tournament. So I don't like the system, but whatever. All right. Anyway, so Slaggy here, straight from yesterday's poker night. We have London. Happy New Year! No, it's 4th of, what is this? The 1st of April. The 4th of the 1st. I look at the calendar and it's like in European style, and it throws me off because, in America we have the month first and the day second. So I'm like, oh wait, it's January 4th. No, it's April 1st. What does that mean? Anybody? What does April 1st mean? That's right. Sparkle Horse, Chemiculture, Redusa, Ruslan Bear, and Neteye so far, but Gabble Trollmops left us. The Chess Mafia. Camels are wild. Let's hope we get some more players. We're going to play the London Accelerated. I don't think so. I still can't it doesn't feel right with the Astrobate here. I'm very disturbed by Astrobate. Maybe he was abducted by aliens. But again, Chemiculture, you are closest to Las Vegas, so if someone gets selected to go find out if Astrobate is in the clink, or if he's in a mental hospital, or if he's passed to the next dimension, you might be the one selected. Unless we can find someone closer to Las Vegas. Let's see. Do we know anyone in like LA? LA's closer. Alright, let's see. I had a friend in LA and he just flew back to Hungary. I should have asked him. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's not the same not having Astrobate in the chat. He would fill up the chat in Twitch like a robot, making it feel more homey. Alright, anyway, guys, tournament starting in 10 minutes. But we watched Hungary versus Greece last night while I was playing poker, and 0 goals. Soboslai, 0 goals. I love football, especially when there's no goals. What else is going on? Yeah, the candidates tournament. Are you serious, Chemiculture, about Wei Yi losing a 3-on-3 Rookin game? Last I looked, it was a draw. But are you really serious? All right, guys. I don't know. I think this is an April Fool's joke. April Fool's. It's not really gonna be. Wei Yi blundered in the 40. Whoa. He probably had a bet on Poly Market or something. Wei Yi will blunder on move 40. That's all we need now, right? Insider trading on like chess blunders. Wow, what a prediction. How did you know that? Let's see. I played poker last night. what else is going on? We had the stream on Sunday, so you guys know I won my game on Sunday. Drawn endgame. Also a drawn rook in game. My 80-year-old opponent lost the drawn 6 against 6. Well, actually, no, it was 7 pawns. Rook and 7 against rook and 7. And he lost symmetrical rook endgame by trading the rooks off, which is something you should never do. Remember, don't trade rooks and offer a draw in a rook endgame unless you're sure the resulting king and pawn endgame is a draw. Wow. Wow, seriously? So I'm going to leave just a moment to check this Wei thing. So Hikaru is black in a pawn up double rook endgame. You didn't say double rook endgame. Yeah, that's... Well, I mean, that's complicated. I would assume it's a draw. To be honest. But what do I know, you know? I just work here. Alright, guys, so back to tournament. Join our Pawnda London system. Pawnda London system. Yeah! Alright, let's see, where were we? Pawnda London system. No, it's April Fool's, guys. Come on, I'm not going to have a London system tournament. You know that. We're going to eliminate that now. Eliminate it. Eliminate the Pawnda London. No, it's not a London system. Come on. No, it's funny. I accidentally set it up. I set it up wrong the first time. And there was no rook on h1 and no knight on g1. So I set it up. I set it up with white being down a rook and knight. And and one person sent me a message like, "What's wrong with that starting position?" Yeah, we're playing rook and knight odds. I still think it's going to be a draw, Camel Culture. All right, so we are not doing London system. It was a joke, okay? I've done this joke before, so it's not really original. I've been streaming for 10 years now. We must have done at least one of their fake London system Rapid Arena. But I'll let you play the London system if you want, okay? Yeah. All right, 6 minutes to go. It's 7 plus 5. I don't know, I should probably make it 7 plus 3, no? 5's a bit much. I don't know why I made it 7 plus 5. I usually do 7 plus 3. So I was just kind of not really thinking there. Alright, we'll make it 7 plus 3. I am a dictator and I do what I want. 7 plus 3 rapid 2.5 hours arena. The usual stuff. Honored guys, thanks. Happy Pawn says honored guys, thanks. So Mr. Huffy, are you here? No. I'm the only moderator in the... Well, team leader, sorry. Team leader in the room. The only adult in the room. I like this quote by Cotronius. Actually, I like Cotronius. He seems like a good guy. And a good, authentic person. Not arrogant, you know. Be a harsh critic of your own wins. That's a great quote by Grandmaster Vasilios Cotronius, who's not a scammer like some Greek grandmasters, as move 11 can tell you. All right, some Greek grandmasters are better than others. Anyways, so we got yeah, arena. What's up, guys? This is my first chess in, well, since Sunday. I was playing poker last night. Monday, what did we do Monday? Monday I had to make a chess video. Not enough work these days, guys, so please support the stream and donate if you can. Subscribe like Camel Culture. 7 viewers? Something wrong with this place. Alright, Claude How can I get more viewers? Claude. Alexa. All right. Be a harsh critic of your wins. I like it, guys. I hope we get some more players. Last call. But I don't know. I have like 10,700 followers on Twitch, and I don't understand how if you have 10,700 followers, you can only have 7 viewers when you stream. I know that candidates tournament is going on, but I don't know why that would stop people from watching my stream. You could watch the candidates tournament and open my stream. It's not that difficult to open 2 tabs. Candidates. I saw this guy yesterday on the street. Camel Culture reminded me of Brian Wall. Oh, in other news, I didn't realize another strong wall had died. The British FM Gavin Wall passed away, according to Danny Gormally. I don't know when that actually happened, but Gavin Wall, the British master, Brian Wall has outlived Gavin Wall, so I think that wasn't. How many other Walls are left? Bill Wall. So I saw this guy on the street that reminded me of Brian. I don't know why he looked similar. But Gavin Wall apparently died. He was a very good quiz guy. According to Gormally, he could have been very successful on the quiz circuit. There's Tim Wall, Bill Wall. There was a guy in New Jersey who disappeared named Wall. Different Wall. But apparently, sadly, Gavin Wall died on a bus in London because he had a heart attack and the bus passengers and driver didn't realize he was not sleeping, and they kept going. The bus just kept going, even though the dude had a heart attack. And if they got him to the hospital fast enough, or maybe got him emergency, medical assistance, they could have saved his life. But instead, the bus just kept going. Not good. All right, Brain Wall. Always think of Brain Wall when I see Camel Culture. Chicago, yeah. Colorado. Do you have armadillos in Colorado? Camel Culture? Armadillo. Southern Colorado. Armadillo balls. You can buy armadillo balls. Once I found this weird web page that sold random kinds of delicacies and meat, and they offered for I don't know hundreds of dollars you could purchase armadillo balls. Interesting, huh? You would think you'd have to go to the black web, the dark web, the black web. You think that's farther south than west. Well, I wasn't sure how far Colorado goes down. Maybe you have a little bit of desert in there. I mean, the Colorado River is really dried out. Maybe the armadillos like it. I don't know. All right. So Redusa, Kuazu, Sun Prism, and Ruslan Bear, Nedeye, and Happy Pawn. Happy Feet. Welcome, guys. Good luck. We're starting with 10 players, but it's 8 players, but it's an arena, so you can join whenever and leave whenever. Good luck. Camel Vulture. So, okay, my first chess game since last night when I was playing random people in 3+2, but whatever. All right. Not serious. Oh, Camel Culture dodged me. You dodged me. I used to do that all the time. All right. Dodgeball. I love dodgeball. Do you guys play dodgeball in elementary school? Get out the ball, kick people with it. I love that shit. Throwing the ball at people. It was an awesome game. Probably not PC. Okay, so no, we're not going to do sharp opening first game. This was just a joke about the London system, by the way. You know how much I hate the London system. You guys know how much I hate it. What can we do to keep him out of, like, standard territory here? E3, that's lame. Hercules. What's up, everybody? Easter is coming. I have a new nickname. People started to call me Bill Bocce. Because, like, old, you know, middle-aged men, older men, they're like uncle. Bocce means uncle in Hungarian. So it was really weird. Like, no one's ever called me this until Sunday. And in the period of 3 days, I had 2 different people call me Bill Bocce, which means like Uncle Bill. Makes me think of bocce ball, but that's spelled differently. So, Billy Bocce. Bishop B7. Is this a real variation? Is this legal? Legal seafoods. Maybe, wow, a double fianchetto. That doesn't seem right. How bad can it be, though? Bilbo Baggins. Now, I don't know about that. That's a little weird, man. I'm getting weird. Alright. I'm not going to go there. B3. Alright. So I was thinking, okay, if the bishop's on b7, it covers this diagonal, but something about this double fianchetto. What's the problem with black's position? Maybe, like, getting in c5 is harder to do because your bishop's going there, not like, controlling c5. I was looking at f7, obviously. I don't know what that does, though. I mean, I can play knight e5. It's all fine and good till someone loses an eye. Now what do I do about my pawn? Well, he has to play knight d5 or knight d5 doesn't work. So he has to play e6. That's kind of ugly. But he likes doing that in the Panov anyway. Hobo Joe. Hobo Joe? Bobo. Bobo the German Shepherd. There was this dog named Bobo when I was a little kid. He was kind of dangerous. He was a guard dog at a disposal service that my dad used to have as a customer. Bobo. Bobo the dog. So, no relation to Hobo. Joe Biden. Alright, man. I don't know. Reducible looks really shaky today. Really shaky. I mean, he's a grilled cheese at this point. You have that move. Oh, why did I miss that? That's weird. So I missed bishop d6. Like, I couldn't see that was playable. That's a weird move to not see. Unsee. Unsee. Pawn takes b5. I really don't want to give you 2 connected pass pawns. Dude, I mean, his bishop's on d6. Yeah, who would expect that move, right? It's like, that's not normal. That's not normal. Viking 88. Viking 86. Sorry, I need glasses. Psilocybin. Not 71 yet, though. Galo Benko hates London too. Well, that's why he plays the Benko. Galo Benko. It sounds like some kind of like Ukrainian, Hungarian name. Benko is totally Hungarian, and Golob, it's like a Slavic form. Golem. Golyubov. Bill. Just have to sound like you have marbles in your mouth. How are you, Bill? Okay. I'm a pawn down and proud of it. Unconventional wisdom. So, pretty obvious, right? We have compensation for a sacrificed pawn. Guys, thanks for joining me. Goblins. There are goblins in Bilbo Baggins. I was a big fan of The Lord of the Rings when I was a kid. I loved the books. It's actually kind of weird that it took so long for there to be like a really serious adaptation, in terms of the film. I went to see Lord of the Rings with Jesse Cry. I remember that. When did the original Lord of the Rings come out? It was very late, right? In like 2001. I remember being at the U.S. Championship in Seattle, and I went to see the movie with Jesse. We were playing in the U.S. Championship and went to watch Lord of the Rings. I would have appreciated it if they had made the movie when I was like a kid or something, They had to wait until 2001 to make it. Golem. Hercules. In Hungarian, it's Golem. Golem with a B. There's the British, there was a British master, Harry Golembeck, which I assume was like Slovakian or something. I don't know what's wrong with me. So Harry Golembeck, the I don't know what's going on, but the British IM, I don't know what his origin story was, but originally that name is connected to pigeon, right? In Hungarian it's golomb, but a lot of Hungarian words come from Slavic. Golomb, pigeon, golombek, some kind of, well, maybe Russian, I don't know, but some kind of Slavic name. 97, Biek. Chiloviek. Yeah. Power of coordination. Let's not talk about the news. You know what I hate? When people start talking about politics at poker, Oh. That's the worst. I can talk about it on my stream. I prefer not to. Alright, anyway, game over. This is an arena, so we just keep going. Let's just keep going. Camel Culture, you're not really playing. No, you're playing Sac Draw. Ah! Sac Draw and Camel Culture both late start. So it's a wing gambit. Sac Draw playing the wing gambit. It looks like... So the wing gambit became a... Wow, Camel Culture. It's nice to meet you. No, it's Blumenfeld, right? Wow, E5. That's the classic break. Yeah. So Golem comes from an ancient story, right? Golem, Golem, the Golem. It's like an ancient golems in the Bible, but no connection to golems. Golem is a pigeon. I'm not sure those words are actually connected. Golem, and golem. I think they might be different words. I always try to, it's like conspiracy theories. People get annoyed with me when I try to find these connections that don't really exist between words. It's completely possible that golem and golem are not related. They're just words that are kind of close to each other. Anyway, Saxat Draw doesn't care about his pawn structure and decided to let his Blumenfeld gambit get blown up. But he got the e4 square. Jesus. He sure got the e4 square. He's like, I don't care about the e3 pawn. Camel culture down 2 minutes on the clock. I don't know, this Saxat Draw guy is pretty good. So be careful. Alright, am I getting in the pairing? Well, we don't have that many players, right? So we're at 10 players now. We need more players. Nedeye, Praying Mantis joined. Ruslan Bear. All of you are regulars except for Kuwazu. Kuwazu is new here. It sounds like an African name. Kuwazu. Are you African? Is Kuwazu from Africa? Vikingen 86. While Praying Mantis is playing the Queen's Gambit Declined. There was a funny quote that Move 11 told me about. Somewhere Hikaru was giving an interview and he said he regretted that he hadn't started playing the Queen's Gambit Declined sooner. I'm thinking like this opening like single-handedly ruined Hikaru's it single-handedly ruined his chances of becoming world champion. He should play more sharp openings, not play the Queen's Gambit Declined. But anyway, whatever. Just wasting your talent. It's okay to learn how to play the Queen's Gambit, but I don't know, man. Make up your mind. So we're just watching Saxon Draw Camel Culture. No, this is a different game. This is Reduce Praying Mantis. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this opening. It's very solid for black, but I would think you'd have very little, almost zero winning chances. Not a good choice for a player like Hikaru, who has such tactical and attacking skills. Why would it be a good idea to play the Queen's Gambit Declined? Yeah, as an occasional surprise or something, but he's exactly the kind of player that should play openings like the Dutch and the King's Indian. And he's only hurting himself by switching to solid openings like the Caro-Kann and the... Maybe it's out of laziness, honestly. It takes a lot of energy to play sharp openings like the King's Indian and the Dutch defense. And I think when Hikaru, someone of that ilk, switches to, say, playing the Queen's Gambit Declined, it's like when Kasparov stopped playing the King's Indian and the Grunfeld and started playing the Queen's Gambit Accepted, remember? Against Kramnik in the 2001 World Championship. Kasparov was playing the Queen's Gambit Accepted. That's game over, man. It's game over. Just retire. If you don't have the energy to play the King's Indian, then you might as well just quit. So, that's just my opinion. We're still waiting for our second game, guys. We have only 10 players, 11 players now. Happy Pawn is not really playing. They are, actually. Sung Prism in the house. Sung Prism is down a piece. No, Sung Prism is up the exchange. That game's almost over. Sung Prism has 6 seconds left? What's going on there? Oh, he's down to his increments up the exchange. Fugazi. So I don't know what to do, guys. We're gonna have to get Claude on the case. NM Catchel. I can't talk. NM Camel Culture. Try to say camel culture like 10 times really fast. Camel culture, camel culture. It's not easy. Camel culture, camel. Alright. Look at that praying mantis position. My God. Look at those active black pieces. Winning chances high. Don't play the Queen's Gambit declined if you want to win. There are a few variations that might be winnable for black if you play in a sharp way, but not in the traditional Queen's Gambit declined style. Rogozin, for example, more active. It's basically a Nimzo. Man, this is the longest I've ever had to wait for like a game, I think, in one of our arenas. True, we don't have that many players. We're up to 11. It's like, it's a sit and go poker tournament. 2 tables. Saji shoves ace king. What do you think happened? $20 big blinds. Alright. Sparkle Horse, Camel Culture, Kuazu, Ruslan Bear, Reduce, Praying Mantis, Net Eye, Sexec Draw, CGN, Sun Prism. Where is everybody? I'm gonna have to send out like a mailing. I'm gonna have to create like a mailing list. I swear to God. I'm gonna have to create a mailing list and start like emailing people. Camel Culture, what happened? He's tilted. He's not tilted. Create a mailing list of team members so we get people to watch the stream. I'm going to have to start to take this seriously. In other words. What about the Pillsbury variation? Pillsbury variation. Pillsbury variation? I mean, Pillsbury variation, I mean, there isn't really a Pillsbury variation to my knowledge. It's like, okay, maybe like you mean the standard Bishop G5. The Bishop F4 is the most topical, but not for everybody. Pillsbury was known for this like formation. You know, he would play Bishop G5, he would play E3, Knight F3, stick his knight on E5, support it like a stonewall attack with F4. So I think a lot of people refer to the Pillsbury like formation, so to speak. But it may be that 4 Bishop G4 is somehow associated with like Pillsbury, but I mean, yeah, I guess Pillsbury was playing in the before the turn of the century, late 1800s. But I mean, for sure, it's not like, you know, he's the first to play that. Of course, D4 wasn't that popular back then. What was cool about Pillsbury, though? What's up with Queen F4 here? Pillsbury was interesting in respect to the fact that he played both E4 and D4 in that era of the turn of the century, 1900, 1895, Hastings. He got syphilis and died very young. What do I have to do here? Knight H5, I guess. Don't know if I've ever played this before. I keep forgetting I'm playing a master. Camel Culture, do you know this? I'm out of book. We are out of the booked. Astrobate is being booked as we speak. No, not a good joke. Okay. So f5, bishop g7, f5, bishop g7, f5. Are you threatening me? Is g4 really a threat? Well, no, because of knight g7, but what do I do, you know? Bishop g7, g4, very awkward for black. I can play f5. I imagine that's a serious contender. Does anybody like the Pretenders? I kind of forgotten about the Pretenders. But then I was like going through my Facebook, and Lou Barlow, who's the lead singer of Sebado, posted this post about how much he loved the Pretenders. I went back and listened to some old Pretenders songs that I hadn't listened to since like the 80s. Alright, so what do I do here? F5 seems weird. I'm wasting a lot of time. By process of elimination. Okay, I'm going to play f5. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, this is like weird. This is a weird position. Look incorrect. Glom. Oh, I got invited to this like streamer tournament, but it's on my it's at my simul time. Some mostly like Russian-speaking players. Alexander Gelman is apparently in Germany. They're having a tournament on Sunday at exactly the start time of my simul. 3-0 though. I hate 3-0. I could do like 3+2. Stream tournament with $100 first prize or something. Alright, Zen Chess, what's up? Thanks for subscribing, man. Did you win the lottery? Dude, a lot of people owe me money and they never pay me back. You're what? Waking up the stairs? Walking up the stairs is like lifting weights. Are you in Nevada? No way. We were just looking for someone in Nevada. You know what you got to do, right? You know what you got to do. The stairs, like the Grand Canyon or whatever? Are you talking about some Grand Canyon stuff? Astrobate is still missing. Not a peep. So I suspect he's either arrested or been put in a mental institution. Sadly. You know, I think he was diagnosed as being like schizophrenic, but I'm not so sure about that. You know, I don't think he was schizophrenic. I don't think that's right. I'm not a doctor, but I studied psychology. I don't think that Astrobate was schizophrenic. I mean, he was weird. He has some issues. You know, it may be that a lot of people who have like autism, say you're diagnosed with something in 1990, you know, but science has changed so much since then. Probably a lot of people who are like autistic. Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I think Astrobate is very bright. And if they diagnose him as being schizophrenic, I'm not trusting that diagnosis, you know. I don't know what I'm doing here. This isn't right. This is about as right as Astrobate's diagnosis. I'm not an expert on schizophrenia, but I mean, I don't see that. I don't see that, you know. Yeah, I mean, he could be dead. There's that guy who was one of the directors of FEMA who claims he was teleported. Maybe Asterbate was teleported somewhere. Remember when Illuminov claimed he was abducted by aliens? Illuminov? I'm not liking this, Camel Vulture. This is not good. You need to look at this line. Because I am in big trouble. Not what I expected, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for you. Shit. You have that too. Oh no. Wow. I am basically done. Stick a fork in me. Wow, what a move. Just Queen D1. It's over. See, all the time I was expecting Queen D3. I missed Queen D1. Damn, this is embarrassing. This is a total fail. I can just resign. What happened here? Anonymous gifted subs? What? Anonymous gifter gifting 10 subs. I think it must have been Hikaru. It's been a while since Hikaru donated subs to my stream. But he did donate some subs to my stream like 6 years ago or 7 years ago. Dude, I just resigned. What the hell happened here? I just lose a piece. Nice game, Comic Culture. What happened? We got 10 gift subs. It was you? You want me to do it again? Do it again! Do it again. That's awesome. Definitely do it again. You didn't exactly win the lottery? Well, you won something. Oh, I love it. It was awesome. We got 10 gift subs. Anonymous. He's anonymous, so you can tell us who it was. Vikingen, G-Souts, Sholby, Blobiciously, Metal and T, Metallic T, Colnor McChicken, Fisher for Life. At least they spelled Fisher right. Inept Egyptian Air. Lady in Black is back. Uh-oh. Earl the Precious Pearl. And by the way, earlier self-destructive mops tilted $5. Do it again. I deserve 10 gift subs after that game. I lost to Camel Culture in 10 moves. What the hell happened, dude? What happened? I mean, I'm out of book after Queen F4. E5 is question mark. Knight H5 is correct. F5, I don't know if it's correct. And here I didn't know what to do. This is weird. I'm afraid that white plays F4 and cements the E5 and I'm just worse. I was too pessimistic about my position here, I guess. So I should just play Bishop G7. You play F4, then what do I do? D6. It's fine for black. Okay, you got me. You got me, Camel Culture. I didn't know what to do. You know, I used to 2 minutes and I came up with the really weak F4. And here, I mean, I'm just busted. But after H takes, I didn't see Queen D1. That needs to be reviewed. We're going to have to review that for computer. My turn. Alright, computer abuse. Sanchez, you didn't do it again, did you? You did it again? You really did it again. He did it again. He did it again. What did you do? You got a job? You got a job? No, another anonymous. This is Zen Chess. You've been working hard in Nevada. Uh-oh. What kind of working hard? Yesterday I was playing 5-card Omaha. You should see the money that was like being spewed at my table. It was unbelievable. These people are insane, degenerate gamblers. If I had the money, I should seriously consider playing like 5-card Omaha like full time. Problem is like there's a lot of variance, and you got to stomach a lot of bad runs and bad luck probably. Thank you so much for the gift subs. AI related work for the government, no doubt. This has nothing to do with Area 51. You're in. He's talking about AI related work. Area 51 is in Las Vegas. JD Vance believes in aliens, as do I. You can put 2 and 2 together. No, but thank you so much, man. The most generous gift subs we had in a very long time. I was only just a little hopeful it might be Mr. Slow, because he's been away for a long time, since January. Since January, there's been no Mr. Slow. There's been Richard Brenton has been gone. I hope he's okay. Does anybody know about Richard Brenton? He's part of some chess club, like Devon or something like that. Maybe Sung Prism knows. Sung Prism, if you're out there, you know anything about Richard Brenton? By any chance, any English chess players? I hope Richard is okay. I know he plays, is part of a chess club in the UK. He hasn't been here in a long time. I don't know about this exchange on c6 by me. That might be a mistake. Might be better to sack a pawn there. Really bad game against Camel Culture. I had never played that position before. I don't know the g6 line well enough in terms of knight c3, g6, and I thought like I had done something like wrong. But if you guys look at the game between me and Camel Culture and I, the shocking thing is how few games there are there. That's really weird. You know, if you look at that, it's a totally reasonable line. There was like 2 games. Nobody plays e5, so your move is bad technically. We both didn't know what we're doing, but you knew what you're doing better than me, right? This is just a very good, solid position. It looks like a Sicilian. Well, it is kind of. What does Bishop g5 do? Wins the game. Lazy. Anybody like lobster? Not for the government. Good. Not for this government. By the way, Hungarian election is coming up April 12th. If you're Hungarian, get out and vote, okay? So we can end this nightmare. The Orban nightmare might be coming to an end. If there's any God, if there really is any God, you could see the end of the dictatorship in Hungary. Maybe not completely, because this is a parliamentary government. But at least, hopefully, Orban's party will go to the minority. But anyway, probably no other Hungarian residents here. You think you communicate with the dead? Try to communicate with Acerbate, then, psychically. Acerbate could be dead, but I also look for obituaries. You know, but the thing is, like, obituaries are, like, written by family members and stuff, and he doesn't really have any close family that I know of, so even if he died, like, there wouldn't necessarily be an obituary. Who would write an obituary if his family isn't close to him? We can't be sure about Acerbate. You're going to have to try to communicate with the dead. I don't know about death records, right? That, I guess, is a state by state thing. You'd think there would be a public record, but it probably takes time. You know what I mean? And you know another fact, Zen chess, that more people go missing in Las Vegas than any other place. Shockingly, more people go missing in Las Vegas than any other city in the United States. Isn't that shocking? A real shocker. No, it's a true fact. And he's been living in Vegas, so. But yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. He's been watching my stream, warming up the chat for almost 10 years, and he's been a good friend to the stream, so I'm really bummed about it. Just a little desert walk. Okay, so this is an interesting move. Black playing c3 here. That can be defended by the bishop. Nice active defense there by black. Shoot. Oh, I have f6. Doesn't work. Rook a3, bishop d2. Rook a3. Yes. Yes, that's what I want to do. Thank you so much for the gift sub, Zen Chess. I got to get the stream back to its dominant position in the chess streaming world. So queen b5, you're on my f1 rook. I don't care. You can grab some pawns, huh? Maybe I should care. You sack the exchange? Ah, whatever. c6. Which game is that? Kawazu is in first place. Bishop d2, that's kind of a strange move. Black's gonna get mated here. One wrong step for mankind. Dude, Artemis, we're going to the moon. Doesn't seem like anything the Trump administration accomplishes would be really cool, but NASA. Bishop d2. Okay, f6 is extremely dangerous. I should probably play rook d3. This is less forcing. I just keep switching subjects. Can't focus. You're going to try to play rook takes d5 and e4? Alright, that's not an issue. I just gotta watch. I'm trying to watch my weight. I'm trying to watch the back rank here. Back rank is an issue. He does sack the exchange, and the idea is e4. This is a nice shot. I mean, I've been seeing this coming for a while now. You hear that ambulance? Man, I could be lost. Wow. Wow, he's 1657? You're only 1657. Oh my god. You've already got 3 draws against me? What an exchange sack, although it was obviously in the making there. Am I like straight up lost? I'm probably not lost. Close to it though. For freaking ambulances, man. G3 doesn't help. G3 is like stupid. Oh my god. If I hear another ambulance, I'm gonna cry. The ambulances here sound like Pac-Man ghosts. It's really strange. Wow, nice game. Do I have an alternative? This guy's like a genius, dude. 1657. Down the exchange and he's gonna beat me. That way. Wow. You're 1657. Nice exchange sack. You guys maybe couldn't hear it. With my mic cancels out like distant sounds. You swear you're not used computer. It's alright. I believe you. He's actively defending. Not using a computer. I believe you. I didn't play well. You know, I let you do this exchange sack. It's in the position. No, you didn't play well. You were bad. You were losing, but I gave you several too many opportunities to do this exchange sack. You don't have to be a computer. That exchange sack was begging to be played, and you didn't play it for a couple moves, so I thought you won't do it. You're looking better than I've seen you in a while. Oh, Sanchez, you really know how to make a girl. You really know. Be a little more careful of your next date, okay? About what, like, giving people like backhanded compliments. I mean, you did donate 20 gift subs, so I'm not gonna be too harsh on you. But I mean, you know how to make a girl feel good. Unbelievable. You're not drunk or tired or old. That's pretty funny, man. That's real amusing. You're funny. You know how to make a girl feel good. I've never been drunk or tired on the stream. I mean, to be honest, I've never been drunk on the stream. No, I mean, I used to drink beer and stuff on the stream, but I never streamed when I'm drunk. I was like very careful about that. But check. Oh no. I had the weirdest hallucination. But tired, I admit. Like, you've seen me very tired many times. But you might want to substitute hangover for drunk. You have seen me with hangovers. Are you serious? Oh my god. That's just outrageous. What'd you do? Queen d4? Wait, your rook's hanging. That's crazy, bro. What is this? Takes e7. But he's not only stronger than me, he's faster too. He's not using a computer, it's his friend who's like a master. Playing this game. Wow. Okay, dude. You're not using a computer, it's true. You just have your friend who's like 2300 playing the game for you. You had me. I mean, you're winning. You know, you're winning. You were winning. Now I don't know. You're winning after Queen e3 toward the end. Obviously, this is a win. Once you have me paralyzed here, but you let me back. So all you got to do is play g5, bring your king up, and take the pawn, and it's over. Easy. I just called the London System Arena to get viewers. Aras Papa. 50 games. Kind of borderline. Just 50 games to join the team, but I'll let it. Alright, resume. Yeah, wow, that was quite a game. CGN. I didn't realize you were just 1600. I thought you were like higher. He's 2000 in bullets, 1700 blitz, 1600 rapid. But interesting game. The exchange sack was a bomb. Where's my game? Black was lost, totally lost, and then totally winning. So, g3, what? I missed knight c7. This exchange sack wins by force. But I was very sloppy. You had the exchange sack on the previous move too. Rook takes d5. I was very, very sloppy. You know, my game, I'm just very careless, you know, because you didn't play the exchange sack the first time. I was like, oh, well, he won't play it, you know, not sharp enough. We don't say that word in here, chess. All right, bishop e4. Billiam. Routine. Pragnamata plays the French defense. Didn't you say that already? Zen Chess? I think you told us this dad joke already. Oh, it's a Zen. Alright, you promise not to call me drunk, and I'll promise not to call your jokes dad jokes. I'll try not to call your very important Zen concepts. No. I'm never drunk on the stream. I just have a hangover sometimes. It was like my Russian professor. She would always come to class with sunglasses on. She was really cool. It was like freshman or sophomore year in college, my Russian professor. She would always teach with her sunglasses on. I wear my sunglasses at night. There's 3 cats in this place. I had a Russian professor. She wasn't Russian, although I had a Russian professor too. She was an American Russian professor. But it was the Russian professor who let me graduate through sheer mercy. Allowed me to graduate. Wow, I can't do that, can I? Can and will. So knight f5, queen h5 is very annoying. That's really annoying, dude. But I guess I can play g6. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, give up your whole position? You're going to just drop c2? I mean... Since we're back to Russian, Pigeon is Golub. Golub. Golum in Hungarian. Golumb with a B. Hungarian's a weird language because it mixes all these things, you know. Slavic, ancient, like, language from the Far East, and even Turkish words. Wow, what was that? Zen Chess used 1,000 bits. And Sex at Draw Tip $3. I didn't get a notification for that. Zen Chess, nice. But I didn't know you were working with AI. You know, you could stay at Astrobait's house. Zen Chess, that would be the best way to figure out if Astrobait's still alive. Check this out. But check this out. There's a... Where Astrobait lived, and I know his address, the owner runs it as an Airbnb. We could stay at Astrobait's house to find out if he's still alive. He used to complain about the owner because he had to like sleep in the shed or something like that. he was like living in like the shed in the yard or something like that when the Airbnb guests come in. Who's that man living in the shed? It was great. There were probably like these reviews on Airbnb. Oh, it was great. Everything was great except for that weird guy like living in the shed, who kept smoking these like weird vapes that smelled like mushrooms. You know, but sometimes there's things are better. Oh, NASA is live. NASA Artemis 2 crew launches to the moon. 34.1K viewers, if anybody's interested. You can watch NASA now, live on Twitch. Artemis 2. Not happening every day that we have a spaceship launching to the moon. The moon landing was faked. But I mean, if I did go and stay at the Astrobate Airbnb, like I'm afraid to find out what really happened. I'm hoping he just like comes back. Hoping he just comes back and everything's okay. Maybe he just ran out of funds or something. So, all right. First off, that G4 business has got to stop. I think I was meant to be a French defense player. Oh, you have 92. That's okay. We can live with that. I had an interesting game with Demetrius. In this line. 92. I'll probably trade queens. I mean, I could play queen a4. The same thing happened in my game with Dimitri. I had to eventually surrender this exchange of queens with like queen takes d3, c takes d3, kind of improving white's pawn structure. But it's not really a big deal. Now what do I do? Knight c7 was kind of the plan here. A bad plan is better than no plan at all. What about c5? Well, that's a business of a completely different. That's a totally different thing. If I play c5, it's a really different situation. Okay, knight c7 maybe was kind of my main point. You can play rook b4. Okay, that's not a big deal though. But in Turkey, it's a Turkish place. Artemis is a Greek god. Well, yeah. Obviously, you know, it's a name in Russian, in a lot of languages. Artem Timofeyev. Well, you don't care about the exchange, okay? I'm down. See, I've got this book on the Balkans. I've got to read it. This is even older than my book, though. Yeah, this is ancient stuff. I have like a book on the modern history of the Balkans. This is some seriously ancient stuff. Byzantine Empire. This is straight up ancient alien stuff. All right, we're just up the exchange. Before the Ottoman Empire. The Greeks. That's interesting. G4. That's not nice. You could recycle. Knight h6. Oof. This is ugly, dude. You got some play now. I don't love this. But we might be able to have some tactics. I should have some tactics here. Probably not enough tactics, though. Brah. 1856. You're underrated. He is seriously underrated. Well, I lost to you the first game that we played. Man, you missed a real killer there. Rook f1. That was super obvious. Now white has like full compensation. This isn't fair. I mean, I'm up a whole exchange. You don't even have a pawn for it. Why am I struggling here? An entire exchange up. That sucks. That's seriously unfair. I can't come up with a good move. This is unfair. My king is even better than yours. You're not Cheesy Noob, right? No relation to Cheesy Noob. Any relation to Cheesy Noob is purely coincidental, as they say. Shit. The master of prophylaxis. Prophylaxis. You are prophylaxis. I'm in terrible form. Nogon Lyon. Dude, Italy lost yesterday trying to qualify for the World Cup 3 years in a row, or 3 times in a row. Not years, but yesterday they lost to Bosnia in a tiebreak penalty shootout. Italy, like soccer capital of the world, football capital of the world. Unbelievable. Hungary drew with Greece. Well, okay, yeah, true. Brazil is even bigger. Argentina isn't bad either. So white just disintegrated. What happened? You lost 2 pieces in one move? That's hard to do. Came unglued. He was probably like winning with rook f1 5 moves ago. Check this out. How bad is my position after rook f1? Wow, I'm still better after rook f1. I can't believe it. Wow. I thought you were better after rook f1. I mean, I can give back the exchange. I probably have to give back the exchange. I didn't see this move c5 going up. Up and out. Sack the pawn. Takes. Check. King c6. Wow. And I'm still better. Nice. So I wasn't really worse, but you have to find that move. It's pretty obvious. All right, Kawazu, Camel Culture in first place. Redusa in second. Ruslan Bear, Zen Chess. Zen Chess get to 20 subs today. Thank God for AI. And 1,000 bits. Zen Chess, Zen Chess. Zen Chess, when are you going to become a national master? Now you have millions of dollars to become a chess player. Become a degenerate chess player. Now that you're rich. You beat Lance the other day. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, all this time. Oh, I tried to berserk, but I couldn't. Take that. He's not falling for this. Shigoran. Nobody knows who he is. Bro, I never told you this. He did this weird thing with me. But don't repeat this to him, okay? I don't want to start a war or something, but he was running a lot of these like 5-minute simuls, you know, to gain followers, and I find it like stupid and annoying. But he's free to do what he wants. But I'll just like block people on Lichess because there's something annoying about it. Like, you know, they have stupid blogs or they have like 3-minute simuls every 5 minutes. And I just think it's kind of idiotic. So I'll just throw the block on them. So I don't have to... somehow it's like a way of like making myself feel like I erased them or something. But anyway, so I blocked him because of these like 5-minute simuls he runs that annoy me every like 5 minutes. Nothing personal, you know. It's just like something random that I did. It had nothing to do with him, really, you know. Just because he runs these stupid simuls that I think are childish and stupid. And then he like, dude, check this out. He messages me like a week later, demanding an explanation as to why I blocked him. I'm like, what? How do you know that I blocked you? You know, that's fucking weird. He never messaged me. There's no reason he would have been like trying to message me or something. He knew that I had blocked him somehow, and then sent me a message. How would he know that I had him on block? You know, when I never had a conversation with him, and I never, you know, he wouldn't be trying to send me a message for anything. It's just so weird, man. So I had to like defend like blocking him. I was like, oh, you know, whatever. I was just pissed because you have these like stupid 5-minute simuls that I find very annoying. But I was totally like disturbed, you know. How do you know that someone blocked you? That's just weird. Does he have some kind of secret like contacts with the Lichess administration that notify him when someone blocks him or something? He's an LM, right? He's connected. One of the original, you know, strong players who played on Lichess. It's like a honorary title. Anyway, I just thought it was the most bizarre thing ever. I was just in a state of shock. He was actually hostile and angry that I had blocked him. As if me, like, personally blocking the guy would somehow affect his life, you know? So he blocks me, I don't give a fuck, you know? I wouldn't send them a personal message demanding an explanation as to why they blocked me. I mean, that's just really weird, dude. He charges way too much money. If he charges way too much money, why are you paying him? I charge way not enough money. There's people who are way worse than me that charge twice as much. So I like to tell people that I live in Hungary, so I can pass the savings on to the consumer. If you guys are interested in lessons, I'm one of the like most affordably priced and actually knowledgeable coaches. But I might block you. Don't take it personally. It was just weird, you know. I have a right to block whoever I want to block. Why are you like sending me an email demanding an explanation as to why I blocked you? That's fucked up, you know. Yeah, the dude must be like extremely strange and paranoid. Zenchess, after 20 gift subs, I'll allow you to advertise on my stream. Zenchess.com. You let me play rook e6. Big mistake, dude. You could have traded both rooks. Anyway, I have to say that's like the single weirdest message I've ever gotten from someone on Lichess. He was really angry and upset about it. Okay, I'll check it out then. I have no personal problem with the guy. It's just that I hate the fact that he does these simuls just to attract attention, you know. I hate all of these like people who do like 5-minute simuls. It's so stupid. Like bullet chess simuls, it kind of cheapens simuls and ruins simuls. I feel like it ruins simuls in general, making them really, really meaningless. That's my problem. You're like a simul whore at that point. Wow, the d6 pawn. Ruslan's just falling apart. He could have swapped all the rooks into a dead draw. He didn't swap the rooks, allowing rook e6. Guys, I'm getting very close to FM again. Just to warn you. I have 2 more games left in the Hungarian Teen Championship. Can we reach FIDE Master again? I'm telling you, I'm going back over 2300. I could become a legitimate IM again at some point. I have a 2450 performance rating this year. So we're back. My FIDE performance rating is 2450. Why do I throw games to kids? What are you talking about? No, I've been known to give little kids draws. I don't throw games to kids. You know, I don't throw games to anybody. I've been known to throw games, but not on purpose. But I did give a lot of draws to little kids. Especially like little Indian kids who are going to be like 2600. I don't lose to little kids very often. I mean, I don't know the last time I lost to a little kid. Would be a very long time ago. When I was like 12, I lost to this like 6-year-old once. That was very disturbing. I was 12 years old, and I think my rating was like 1300, and I lost this little kid who was like 700, and he was like 6 years old, or 7 years old. That was pretty disturbing. No, it's funny, like I'll look through my games from like 5 years ago, you know, and the random like Indian kid that I played and drew me. This is like, there's more than one. Random Indian 2100 kids who drew me like 6 years ago are all like 2600 now. I'm like, no wonder they drew me, you know. Mostly I throw games against adults, dude. But lately we're running really well. I mean, I'm winning in poker and chess. This year has been unprecedented. We're just winning, you know. 2 more games left in the Hungarian Teen Championship. And my team, I had the best record on my team. On a low board though. But I'm 5-3. Or I have 5 out of 8. That was after a horrible start. It's basically like playing an IM tournament and having +2 in the lowest possible category IM tournament. Probably my performance rating is like 2250 overall. But still, it started out like 2000 performance. I lost 2 games. Although I think one of my opponents cheated. Seriously. With an engine during the game. For the only time in my life. Back in like... it was back in like December, I think. Or maybe November. I guess November. Very weird situation. This guy seems kind of like he was angry that I wouldn't take a draw in the opening. I don't think he like cheats on a regular basis, but Miki Dickhead, thanks for subscribing. I don't think the guy cheats on a regular basis, and he has a fairly good record. You know, people respect him, but I feel that he probably used an engine during the game because he was specifically pissed that I wouldn't agree to a quick draw. He just busted the engine on me after like 3 bathroom visits. One of them including like a unbelievable P sacrifice that you could only play like quickly if you were sure the engine like approved it. I know I'm paranoid, but this game was definitely weird. He went 3 times to the bathroom in very far away like toilet. Never before have I suspected one of my how much money? Is that just, you know, you're weird, dude? But you're getting weirder. How much money? Nothing. I'm not going anywhere. No, I don't see what you did there. How much? Will times 2. That's weird, man. That's deep. You are weird. But as you see, so you're not on any sort of drugs, right? You just have more energy now. Since the... You don't find that the Ozempic affects, like, it doesn't give you, like, anger or anything like that? Wegovy? Everybody's taking these, like, yeah. Bro, everybody's taking, like, weight loss drugs. But you know everyone takes these drugs, man. To lose weight. Not me, but I mean... Do you know how much... Dude, do you know how much... You said you lost tons of weight. You know how hard it is to lose that much weight? Without, like, weight loss drugs? And they're so trendy now. You just hung a piece. You don't watch South Park? Like the end of obesity? They had a whole South Park movie about it. But I suspect that the weight loss drugs have some side effects, like that affect people's moods and stuff. I'm just asking for a friend. I don't take weight loss drugs. I could use some weight loss though. I'm up a little bit. When I was taking care of my mom, when my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, like 6 years ago, I had gotten down to a really reasonable weight. I was very active and was like not sleeping much and very busy, so I for the first time like in a long time I had gotten down to a pretty healthy weight, but now I'm back again, you know, kind of high. If you work out, you look like you lost. Well, that's the important thing. CGN just doesn't have the game he had last game. What just happened? Hype train incoming. I don't like the way they changed the hype train so they just like pop up randomly. That seems kind of dumb. Hype train incoming. You'll have a limited time to earn exclusive remotes, including TV remotes. Why did they make the hype trains random? Maybe I can change it in the settings somehow, but I didn't change it. You guys have a limited amount of time. So he's going for the Made in 1. You're a huge cheapo artist. Made in 2. Infinite crafting. Sus. Infinite Crafting, can you make a, wow, another cheapo. Infinite Crafting, can you make, draw? No, just kidding. But can you make, what can you craft? What can we craft here? Oh, you hung a rook and I didn't take it. I'm a nice guy like that. Alright, CGN, on to the next game. You didn't really have the game you had in the first one. Kuwazu, whoever Kuwazu is way out in first with 16. Camel Culture with 10, Reducer with 11. But Zen Chess, you're doing a good job distracting me. Okay, now we play Zen Chess. I have really bad brain fog lately. So I do need to exercise more. D4. Okay. We didn't have any London system games today. Zen Chess, you don't normally play D4. Where do I play? Since you don't normally play D4, I'll go to the King's Indian. Bishop F4. It's a thematic move. Yeah, that's Roman's old favorite. Angelo Young and Roman Gingiach really both used to play this a lot with White and Blitz. It's not a bad system. It's pretty solid. It's actually like John Watson's recommendation. If you play the London system, the proper London system, I know Watson, I don't know why Watson would be giving recommendations how to play the London system. Why that came up in my mind, I don't know. But, oh, by the way, Camel Culture, do you know John Watson? But he lives in California, right? He was long ago from Colorado. Okay. Brian knew him. Surprising how many masters were from Colorado. John Watson, Mike Valvo, Brian. What about anyone else? What other chess masters are from Colorado? What about, like, there was this guy, Richard Odendahl. I don't remember where he was from. Somewhere. I lost to him once. He's like totally never appeared. Move 11, what? There's an 1800 in the over 2000. Well, his rating's going up. But if you pay like $1 million, they'll put you in the higher section, Move 11. Membership has its privileges. Zen Chess, I wouldn't want to develop my pieces or anything. What are you threatening to draw me? So knight d5 is a move. Takes. This is funny. There's e5. Nope. You want to take the draw? You don't want to draw? Oh man. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. You're a bad hombre. Plays for cheapos. Wow. You're gonna regret that decision. Zen Chess is definitely on some sort of drugs. It may not be weight loss drugs, but I think there's some kind of drugs involved. Natural growth hormones. I think taking the draw would have been a smart thing to do there. Well, taking the repetition anyway. You're worse now. Irrational. You are irrational. I was just offering the repetition so I have more time to calculate the more complicated lines where I had to sack a rook. But I suspect it was good for black. Move 11. You're talking about a tournament that hasn't actually taken place yet, right? So there's an 1800 in the over 2000. Maybe his rating just hasn't caught up yet. Zen chess is not big on development. You're not big on development, are you? This is the problem, though. Zen chess is playing d4. I think he thought he had to do the London system for real. Wow. Invasive Species Act. So, we have another friend. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What drugs are you taking? Now don't tell me you're on any drugs. Now that's the way to play for a win. Camel Vulture. You're just naturally weird. What's Camel Culture playing? His knight's on a6. What is that? Wow, Queen's Indian. Queen takes. Pawn takes is I assume pretty standard, but queen takes is ambitious. And he grabs the pawn. He grabbed the pawn on c7. You know what the thing is, though, Zen chess, you've always been weird, but you've been more weird lately. But I guess without Astrobate, everybody's like more noticeable now. You've been more engaging, you know? Your personality changed. You're much more engaging. You were more shy and introverted before. But I have the feeling you're not a d4 expert with white. You weren't really in your zone there. Yeah, I know. No, I know. I mean, it's a different animal. The African genius with an IOUS has followed. Genius, like IUS, is the American spelling. Genios. Genios. Is that like a British spelling? How do the British spell genius? I think that's a legal spelling of genius. Paolo 9 from the Canary Islands. Long time no see. They haven't been here in a long time. Wait, I have a request to join the team. Open link in split view. That makes it easier. Oh, African genius. African genius is from Angola. Except. So, actually, we have some friend, Sebe Attila, who's playing in Kenya. I was shocked. Attila always liked to go to, you know, interesting new places. He played a lot in India, but now he's actually, I guess he's back by now, but I guess they went to play in Kenya. Genius is Latin. Yeah, but IUS, can't that, IOUS, can't that be acceptable spelling of genius? For some reason, I thought that was an accepted alternate spelling. But I'm not Webster's dictionary. Okay. Here. All right. Merriam-Webster. Miriam. Now there's an antique name. Aunt Miriam. Brother Paolo. Wasn't he Brother Paolo? There was a Brother Paolo. No, Brother Paolo is the character from The Name of the Rose, right? Who wrote that? Umberto Eco. Famous book by a famous author. All right. Brother Paolo. I didn't read the book. So, Bird's defense, not great. I imagine playing the Bird's defense for black has a pretty high learning curve. Not easy. You got no strong point on e5. It's very fundamentally flawed. D5 break, though. The D5 break could give him some counterplay. If this knight is to get access to like E3, I really don't want that to happen. So he can hit D5, but I'll go close it. I sound like a Murloc. I'll go. All right, D5, E5. I don't know if this is good. I don't trust my position. D5 looks decent, and H3 is slow. D5, E5, Knight D7, F4, or alternative way of defending E5 pawn. I don't like H3. You know, I think that this is wrong. What I did here is wrong. But luckily he didn't take advantage of it. He's got to play D5. Not literally got to play D5, but he should play D5. I got to go to the bathroom. I've been like my whole life traumatized by that English teacher. My English teacher in 8th grade. Okay. Now what do I do? Bishop E6. Now, if we take with a knight, we're going to get a position kind of like that game that I almost lost against CGN. Knight takes, bishop b6, bishop g5. He's in this. Normally, I would take with the a pawn there, but he's in this sort of eternal pin now with bishop g5. That's really awkward for black. Probably. Okay, he has a way. Maybe to try to get out of the pin. But not easy. I mean, if he goes queen e7, I play knight d2 back. If he tries queen e5, I hit him again. This doesn't do anything. h6 doesn't help. Unless you're going to play g5, which is like suicidal. g5 looks suicidal. So ultimately, I don't know. Looks like black is in big trouble with no plan. Although I need to complete my development. Queen f3, rook ae1, double on the f file. Yeah. You can't get out of the pin. It doesn't really matter. Fixed, you know, most of his pawns on the wrong color. So now he has a pawn. He's up a pawn. Rook ae1. If he tries to break the pin now, he can break the pin now. But I have, ooh, this is very strong. Knight c4, ouch. Ouch! Yevgeny Alchikov. Did I get another request to join the team, or is that an old one? Yeah, the ghost. It's a ghost request. All right, so this is fatal. And I can't easily checkmate him because he has king h7, rook g8. So we just go for the winning endgame. Oh, he didn't want to take it. Wow, there's a practical decision. He just loses a piece. This is not really going to solve the problems. Brother Paolo is done. Canary Islands. Gran Canarias. No relation to Brother Paolo. Mickey, by the way, Mickey Deckett is back. The last time I saw Mickey, I mentioned the tournament they're having at Lake, well, probably had, right? It was like in March. March is over now. Well, there was a tournament at Lake Bled in Slovenia, under 2,300, but it was very expensive, like, really seemingly kind of expensive, extravagant amateur tournament at Lake Bled, where I would be like one of the highest seeds. I could enter at like 2,290 something, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go over 2,300. We're going for 2,300. I want to be a FIDE master again. E5's not going to cut it here. So, well, maybe it will. We can do this. We can play for the big one. The big gulp. Genius. Actually, in Hungarian, it's SZ. Because S, the S sound is SC. He doesn't cooperate. Rook d5. Called it. You have rook f5 now. Annoying move. Luckily I have a move. Queen c1. Then he has rook f6. Winning a pawn back. You can win a pawn back here. Nice. Rook f6. Rook f6. Well, not really. I guess I can pick up the c6 pawn. Black is lost. Hisid Nuns. Now he's French. He hasn't been here since 6 years ago. In hoc signo vinces. Camel Culture dominating with 20 points now. I'm in third, fourth place. Chess Doofus. You've also just followed, inspired by my friend, the Camel Vulture. I like to call him Camel Culture because his name is not politically correct. I'm big on political correctness. Yeah. No, not really. No, whatever. But anyway, I like to call him Camel Culture. But that's great. We got a follower thanks to Camel Culture. Nice. Camel Culture National Master. He learned everything he knows here from my stream. Well, not exactly, but I like to take credit for other people's success. No, but I'm glad, like, we have a national master. National master isn't bad. I'm going for the FM title myself. I'm gonna it's like reaffirming your vows or whatever. People, like, they're married and they get remarried. I want to reaffirm my FM title. You've also just followed. Oh, you just call him quadrupled? Quadruped. Oh, quadruped. Quadrupled. Quadrupled. I don't trust this king and pawn end game. Although it's probably enough to win, and I have an extra tempo on the queen side. Oh, what the heck? Let's do it for fun. Yeah, my king position is decent. The tempo. The plane. This is how I won a game this Sunday, actually. International Master Moses Ervin. He let me reach a winning king and pawn end game where I had a tempo move on the queen side in a totally drawn rook end game. If I don't have that move b3, I mean, probably I'm not winning. It was really funny, move 11. I told you the story, right? The guy was angry, and he insisted the position was a draw out loud, making the losing move. While he was making the losing 40th move, he was proclaiming the position was a draw aloud. And I don't know what to say. It's very awkward. It's very awkward when your opponent is making the losing move, shouting loudly that the position is a draw. What do you say in that situation? I'm well, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I feel kind of bad for him. He wanted to draw so bad, he reached out and made the losing move. That's why he's 2,000. FIDE 2,000. It's still not that bad for a guy who's 80, 79. But also, on the other hand, there are some strong players who've managed to hold on to their elo. I know one German grandmaster in particular from the World Senior. I promised myself that if I went under a long time ago, very long time ago, I told myself that if I ever go under 2,300, I'm quitting chess. But I dropped last spring. I dropped under 2,300 after this horrible result in an IM tournament that I didn't want to play in. I was totally I literally didn't want to play in the tournament, and I was forced to play in it. Never do something you don't feel like doing, right? But now it's can I get back to 2,300? And once I get back to 2,300, can I go to try to get the IM title again? Maybe I can become an IM again. 2,400. But that would be a real accomplishment. Ruslan Bear, should I sack draw? This is literally sack draw. No. I can't resist. I didn't see the result of today's game, move 11. Oh yeah, no, I did. I'm sorry. What are my thoughts? Well, I didn't see the last two games, move 11. I only saw the last game, and I didn't really see it. I mean, I only know he lost. No, I haven't seen the games. I'll let you know when I find out. But again, what is there to say? It's one tournament. Anything can happen. It doesn't really mean anything, you know? That's why the candidates' matches were better. It's one thing to play a 12-game match against somebody, but it's another thing to play a 10-round, tournament against the field. Okay, at least it's double round. Thank God, because if it wasn't double round, it would be really unfair. But still, it's not enough to be statistically significant. They might as well draw straws to see who plays for the World Championship. That would be exciting. Get it over with fast. Bishop takes b5. Cinderella story. It's just a tournament. I would look at it like that. It's just a tournament. I mean, dude, and what? Like the first game, Hikaru lost a holdable position, but even Caruana blundered in the first game and shouldn't have won. He blew a completely winning position. The quality of play there was like perfect in the opening and then like horrible later. So these guys are, they're playing a lot of maybe good chess to a point. Caruana's time management is awful. Did you see his time management today? I looked at the clock use. Check out his time management. Okay, I did play through the game a little. But the one thing that stood out to me was like how horrible, absolutely horrible Caruana's time use was. What is he using all this time on? Clearly, Sindarov is much better about managing the time. Well, I would say, like, at this point, after 4 rounds, the chances of Sindarov winning the tournament are extremely high. He's only a point ahead of the field, but it's a big lead at that level. A point ahead of the field after 4 rounds is massive, Plus 3 after 4 rounds. That could be like, Sindarov probably wins the tournament if he draws the rest of his games. Seriously. You draw all the rest of his games, not win another single game, and probably win the tournament. That's all he has to do. Just draw out, so to speak. Okay, that's not necessarily going to happen. One win could change everything. But I don't like the format. I think it's stupid. Okay, it's 14 rounds. Yeah, no, it's true. It's 14 rounds. I keep thinking it's like 10 rounds or something. Yeah, it's 14 rounds. It is a lot. No, that's true. I'm just saying he's a big favorite, and I'm saying it's like a lock or something. It is a big deal to be plus 3. That's just winning the tournament. Plus 3 wins the tournament. I'm just saying. I don't think anybody's going to get more than plus 3. I really don't. Obviously, it's conceivable. And if someone does, it's probably going to be Sindarov. But it's a little bit like poker. Do you tighten up if you're Sindarov now? There's a temptation to do that. Right? There's this temptation to say, oh, I have winning position. Just, just play solid. And then you start to play too passively, and it all goes wrong. Man, Ruslan Bear is being very annoying here. So I think that Sindarov has to avoid that trap of the I got it in the bag, just don't do anything. He's got to still not change anything, just keep doing what he's doing. Care Bears. Maybe I should have played h4, but he's just going to play g4. I'm never going to open it up. Seemed odd choice of opening today. Oh. Wait, what are we talking about? Wait, I saw a QGA. No? It wasn't a Queen's Gambit accepted? Sometimes I wonder about the Queen's Gambit accepted. What is its purpose? It seems like kind of a bad opening. I like to play it because it's kind of open. But honestly, the problem with it is like, what are you really doing? You're not playing for a draw. It's not really solid. But it's also like practically impossible to win. So it's like, what exactly are you doing when you play the Queen's Gambit accepted? You're not playing for draw. You have very few winning chances. It's kind of weird, you know? I'm not really sure what we're doing. We're trying to lose? Yeah. Well, anyway, just some thoughts. Random thoughts about the Queen's Gambit accepted. Ruslan Bear is like defending this exchange down position like some sort of freak genius. He's a tryhard, Ruslan Bear. I've been tempted to try to play the Queen's Gambit accepted at times. Last year, they have this woman, she's a Hungarian actually, who I don't know very well, but I've seen her around. She's a good player. Petra Pap, and she's gotten involved with Lichess, I don't know how, and she does like analysis of games for the women's tournaments, maybe even this one. But Petra Pap made this comment in one of the analyses that like the Queen's Gambit accepted is a solid opening. I wanted to like choke. I was like, what are you talking about? Some people have the weirdest view of things. How is the Queen's Gambit accepted a solid opening for black? You're literally trading off your center. It's like the least fundamental thing you can possibly do. It's extremely hyper modern. It's the opposite of solid. It's like you're trying to create some dynamism. It's not solid at all. What planet are you from that you're like making a claim like that? It's stupid. I've been playing chess for over 40 years, and I would never categorize the Queen's Gambit accepted as solid. It's not the wildest opening, but it's also not solid. You know, if you want to play solid, you go Hikaru style and start playing boring Queen's Gambit declines. It is not solid to play the Queen's Gambit accepted. There's no question in my mind about that. Super exclam. The bishop's like open lines, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Oh my god, he has a check. It starts with one check. I can't evacuate. Oh, I need my knight there, though. Okay. What if I evacuate first? What are you going to do? What are you going to do about it, man? Where's your bishop going to move? I like your bishops. Those are some serious bishops right there. What are they going to do? You're going to have to play f4 now. Although it's not going to help you. He's lost. Totally lost. But he deserves to be lost. He plays like a maniac, and then he gets a bad position, and then he starts trying to play well. If Ruslan Bear would play better in the opening, instead of giving his opponents like a winning position every game in the opening, he would be decent. But he just sacrifices the opening every time. His openings are horrible. You got to improve your openings. You're at such a disadvantage every single opening. Ruslan Bear could improve his openings to a good level. He would be, 2100. But there's some questions I have. Why is Move 11 calling it the Vienna? It wasn't a Vienna, was it? Let me just check. Broadcast, FIDE candidates, round 4, Caruana black, e6, d takes c4. Okay, you're right. Well, it's technically not a Vienna because white didn't go into the Vienna. Okay, it was technically a transmission to the Queen's Gambit accepted. But yeah, he offered the possibility of Vienna. Wait. Well, I mean, he offered a Vienna, but white didn't play e4. You know, white played quietly with e3. So what's your question? Yeah, maybe he wanted to play some sharper line, and white declined. But if you look at the game, the thing that stands out to me is the horrible time use by Caruana. What was he doing? Did you see his clock? He was like an hour behind on the clock after like 15 moves or something. I mean, dude, that's like suicide. It's suicide against a dangerous player. A very talented and dangerous player like Sindarov. Using your time is important, but I mean, that was ridiculous. Well, he was wasting his time. He wasn't using his time. He wasted his time. The position wasn't that complicated, you know. So Camel Culture in first place, Sachi in second. We've got 32 minutes left. But I don't know enough about, you know, I don't really know about Caruana's repertoire against d4. I haven't been following these players on this level very much lately. Busy with my own stuff, studying old. I've done a lot of like videos about Chigorin and older players of late. I haven't really been following top chess, to be honest. That's not my passion. Sometimes I have, you know. Sometimes I have National Master Chess Doofus, multiple masters. I'm now a part of the team. Nice. Playing one of these tournaments alongside Camel Vulture. Chess Doofus. Yeah, absolutely, you're welcome. We get mostly stronger players because beginners don't like me. Because I don't play the London system. And I don't play Bullet. So all the beginners hate me. Anyone who's like under 1500 never watches the stream. The average player in my streams is like 1900. This is an advanced chess stream. Maybe we could get Schieberspieler to play. He's an FM. He's online now. I thought he might play, but he hasn't been around. I got killed by Camel Culture too. He played some weird line. How much time is left? 30 minutes. Okay. So, yeah, but I mean, okay, the candidates. I've only seen like 3 or 4 games so far. The first game, you know, Caruana Nakamura was that game was interesting on a number of levels. But at some point, I think that Hikaru was lazy. And he just went into the opposite color bishop position where white can like torture him when he didn't have to, you know. And it looks to me like a sign. It's a sign when you do stuff like that. It's a sign that you're like not ambitious, you're kind of lazy. He exchanged down into the opposite color bishop endgame where Caruana tortured him. And it's a draw, but it's like difficult. And he didn't have to do that, you know, and it's kind of like overconfidence, laziness. I'm thinking like maybe Hikaru just isn't showing any signs of motivation, you know. I figure he got married or whatever. He's getting older. He hasn't played much. In the past, he's been able to get away with that stuff, like not playing much and streaming all the time. But I think now it's like it's getting too competitive. He can't get away with it anymore. Looks like Hikaru is not prepared for this. He's just not prepared for this level of competition. You know, maybe he still has it in him if he fights hard enough to come back, but that first game I see a level of overconfidence and laziness. The opening was fantastically played by both sides, totally new line. But another question is, why does Hikaru continue to play the Queen's Gambit decline type of stuff? I'll never understand. Move 11, I mentioned your comment earlier. That Hikaru even claimed that he wished he had learned the Queen's Gambit accepted sooner or whatever. I think Hikaru and all dynamic players are not well suited to playing dry openings, and it doesn't make sense. You want to win the candidates tournament, you got to be winning some games with both colors. Playing the Caro-Kann and the Queen's Gambit decline just, it doesn't make sense for a dynamic player like Hikaru. It really doesn't make sense. I can't figure it out. You know, it's like he can't see the forest for the trees or whatever, as they say. You know? He's throwing away his whole inherent advantage of being like a great, energetic, dynamic player, essentially. Where are we here, theoretically? Speaking of the Skaven ingot, random move detector. Why did you exchange knights on c6? Just because people do that? Yeah, he's just making random moves. Mickey is he's out of practice. You're extremely out of practice. It's very clear. Here I'm not sure where to put my bishop. You played f3 and you're likely to have to play f4 later, but what if I go e5 now? I didn't have to do this. This is a little risky for me, you know? But White's play is so weird and amateurish. It just screams that he's out of practice. He's capable of playing really well, but this looks like, you know, I've been playing Bullet for the last 6 months, and that's all I feel like doing. I literally don't feel like thinking. That's what White is doing here. I think he's already close to lost. Too much bullet chess makes Jack a dull boy. Do you feel he's become less dynamic? Yeah. But I mean, why would Hikaru have an advantage over the other players if he's playing openings like the Caro-Kann and the Queen's Gambit declined? I think you're really selling yourself short there. I think the point is, why did he switch from playing Leningrad Dutch and the King's Indian and Sharp stuff to Queen's Gambit declined? And then he can justify it all the way he wants. Does the computer say it's better, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, do you know why people stop playing the King's Indian? Why do I stop playing King's Indian? It's hard, and you're lazy. You know, you're just lazy. It takes a lot of energy to play openings like the King's Indian or the Dutch. So at the end of the day, it's easy to play. It's why do people play the Carol Khan and the Queen's Gambit Decline and these solid things? Because it's easy. That's why. You know, it's like you can play it without thinking, and it's safe. But it shows a lack of motivation and a lack of, I don't know, motivation. Okay, bullet chess enabled. Why didn't you berserk if you're going to play bullet chess? You should at least berserk. I mean, you get your money's worth then. Queen h6. How dangerous is Queen h6? I wonder. I could just castle. I mean, maybe that's a sensible thing to do here. Yeah, of course. Double-edged move. Now I need to think. What's the point? This is a little more dangerous than I thought. Just one thing that I missed. But I'm kind of committed to this now. Too risky, no increment. I think it's natural for people to get more conservative as they get older. I think that most players do. I did. I mean, players don't get wilder as they get older, right? But I think Hikaru took it too far. He's just not, I don't know, hungry enough. But he still has a lot of talent, and he's probably not out of this, even now. Like, what, 1 out of 4? Did the game end in a draw, by the way? I'm just assuming that Hikaru's game was a draw. I don't know. You guys didn't tell me if it's still going on. It could still be going on. Exchanging pawns here look like White made a mistake. Maybe releasing attention too early there. Okay, so what do you do after Queen h4? The one thing I was afraid of in this position was this rook transfer. Rook a3 to h3, but he didn't either didn't see it or he didn't feel it was necessary. I think I underestimated that in the beginning. Now it's still a possibility, but I would assume it's too slow. Assume nothing. Yeah, assume nothing. Gave him a really good idea there. Well, anyway. Camel culture is just piling on the points. 28 points. I only berserked. No, I don't think I berserked any games. That's my problem. He was supposed to win, but missed rook exchange. The computer, Camel Culture was saying the computer said that black was, winning. But, double rook in game looked within the margin for error for a draw to me on a very quick. I didn't see that your knight was hanging, okay? Never resign until you're certain your opponent sees it. I didn't intend to attack your knight. It was defended anyway. You should have played rook a3. I didn't even know. Never resign. Walter Bisgeier famously said, just don't let your opponent know that you know that you're lost. It's a very important. Never resign until your opponent sees it. I didn't play queen h4 with the intention of attacking the knight on a4, obviously. I did it to attack the bishop. No. Why did I do it? Why did I play queen h4? It's a good question. Why did I play queen h4? It doesn't actually do anything, It's kind of funny. It just kind of gets out of the way for the other pieces. I didn't do it to attack the knight on a4. But that opening that you played, Miki, was really bad. You make a lot of small mistakes early, you didn't really care about the opening. In the past, you have a good opening repertoire. You've had a very some systems where you were kind of dangerous and well prepared, I thought. Not another g3. Oh, I gotta stop playing g3 against Radusa. It's always the Slav. Grunfeld. Schlechter Slav, whatever. But anyway, you guys, the first game that Caruana played Nakamura, they played this opening. It was like a ready, where Caruana was white. And, there's not a lot you can do against the ready with a solid player. Not easy for Hikaru to play for a win. There. But he could still try to play like a King's Indian or something. Another question though. Caruana played knight f3. Hikaru played d5, which I hate, but whatever. And then when Caruana plays c4, it's well known that black's best move in the ready is d4 on move 2. And so I have to do some research. It would be interesting to know. Honestly, Caruana is playing e4 mostly. But it would be interesting to know if Hikaru has played d4 a lot in the past. We'd have to research this a little bit. Because clearly d4 is black's best move on move 2 against the ready. And maybe he'd been preparing this or whatever. Why doesn't he play the main line? This is the best move because it's sharp. He suspected some preparation. They ended up playing a totally new position that was perfect play by both sides for 19 moves. And then Hikaru missed a kind of dynamic continuation that would have required him to give up the bishop pair. It was difficult to see, and I'm not sure if anybody would have played what the computer recommended, but he was never in big trouble till the end when he drifted into a difficult position. But he also never had anything dynamic at all for black. Move 11, haven't you played this? Move 11 inspired. Bishop g4, bishop takes f3. I bet some future 2600 played this against me. I had a game with Pranav, I think his name was Pranav Anand. It's an Indian GM. At the Budapest Spring Festival when the guy was 2100 and he drew me playing this type of thing. I was torturing him, but it wasn't enough. I ended up not quite being able to finish him off. Chess Guy 1. What do you think is worth studying around 2000 Lee chess? I enjoy looking at move by move stuff. Some people seem so particular. I mean I still really believe in studying complete master games, preferably games that are annotated by the player themselves, not someone else, not some third party. You got a book by, my favorite books and things to study are like Botvinnik's, you know, selected games analyzed by Botvinnik, or whoever, Fisher, my 60 memorable games, things like that. But anyway, the point is to study master games is from my perspective the way I improve the most. Bits and pieces of games or watching videos isn't the same, you know. To sit there with a chessboard, and you could try to use an engine to enhance your analysis, but to sit there and really study games on your own with a real chessboard, and try to understand what's happening and play through variations, I mean, that seems like, obviously playing is really important too. But if you're talking about studying, I think that studying complete games, obviously openings are important, end games are important, and then you can also, if you study like a lot of games by one particular player, you can kind of like adopt. You're like adopting parts of their style, you know. Trying to understand the masters and their play. And then you can try to like incorporate things you learn from individual players into your own game. Strategies that you see. Here we have me being influenced by Chigorin, for example. I'm trying to implement what I learned from studying Chigorin's games in my own games. And sometimes you learn things, certain strategies, maybe indirectly. Maybe I can learn concepts that Dimsevich really kind of created from a later player. But I don't know, I would emphasize studying complete games. I would absolutely say that I learned more from maybe like 10 books of the greatest chess masters that influenced me the most, more than anything else, have the greatest impact. Wow, f6, this is aggressive, and he's trying to break out, and probably a good idea, but the e6 pawn looks seriously compromised. Black has no late square bishop, okay, first of all. So he's weak on the late squares forever. Static features. Book 1. Static features. I'm a little bit lagging in development here, my bishop on c1 and my b2 pawn hanging in some variations. I want to play bishop d2, maybe bishop e3, allow knight e4. I don't really love that. I don't like letting his knight in here. I'd rather play bishop d2. Rook b1 is slow. Rook b1 is slow. But maybe slow works here. Because black's knights are redundant. There's nothing he can really do. What are you going to do to me? Oh, that's what you're going to do to me. Okay, shit. Shit, I see it now. So stupid, of course. I'm having like a flashback. Okay, knight takes, pawn takes. Feels like we had a game like this once before. So I can sack a pawn with f5. Very interesting idea. f5 takes, knight h4, f4. Okay, I get it. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Alright, whatever. I missed it, I missed the point. You have that tactic. He's very strong tactically. But positionally, Redusa needs to work. I can't take. Never say never. But, check. It's not going to cut it. Bishop e3 is probably bad. Where should I go? Queen d1, queen c2. I have to be very careful here. Jeez. This is outrageous. I'm in second place. You started by learning endgames. Well, that's the classical Russian school, right? Uncle Yermo. And if you learn how one smaller piece coordinates, you can work your way up to like playing with all the pieces. I play well in simplified positions. I've seen like players who don't know how to play like endgames, for example. And this is quite the move you've got there. Wow. He doesn't do pawns. But, I mean, I'm convinced that, like, you have to learn endgames first. Endgames are an important part of the game, though, obviously. The opponent seems a lot more active. Yeah, well, I let him out because I made this slow b3 move. You know, it was unnecessary. I had a very good advantage. Now he has chances. No, hold on a second here. Now, I mean, do you have any threats if I play just king g2? That seems problematic, doesn't it? I was going to take and like allow rook f1 and take an h5. But why can't I just play king g2? A lot of times this happens in poker where I'm like unsuspecting and then they have like quads or something. But I don't think he has quads. I think he's just making random aggressive moves that aren't really well planned out. Potentially losing. It's possible knight g4 was like a losing move. I didn't expect rook h5. I thought he would play something sensible. Double on the e-file, maybe queen e6, although queen e6 is walking into some bishop g5, bishop d5s. Something on the e-file, rather than going for my king directly. This variation for black, where you go bishop g4 and you trade off your bishop, like, it's playable, but I don't like it, like, holistically. It doesn't seem right. This is what happened with Pranav Anand. He like gave me his light square bishop and then I was better. Wasn't enough to win, although I was much better. But I've seen games by Petrosian and Fischer where this type of advantage like is winning the game. You know, two bishops. Fischer was especially good with two bishops. I had a game this weekend which wasn't enough. but I didn't have the two bishops. I just had bishop versus knight. That's a different story. If you get down to bishop versus knight, sometimes the knight can be okay. Two bishops versus bishop and knight. Very hard for the guy with the bishop and knight to play, you know. It's hard to coordinate knight and bishop. That's why rook and bishop, knight and bishop endgame. The knight and bishop checkmate is hard to do because it's literally hard to coordinate. Hard to learn to coordinate the knight and the bishop. You have to see how the light square bishop, or the bishop, whatever color it is, if you have a dark square bishop, you have a knight, the knight has to control the light squares and the bishop has to control the dark squares. They have to work together. Now show me how this guy's exchange sack here on f3, what does that do? How does that work? Oh, you're going to go knight e5 and attack my h3 pawn? Okay. I have g4, trapping your rook. Well, almost trapping your rook. Not a good move, though. He's starting knight f3. Okay. This is a good move. So you also have tactics based on the weakness of h3. I can give the material back and probably hold. But objectively, that's probably not best. I don't know. I feel like I'm objectively still probably winning. But I have to be very careful because his pieces are so active. I take it back. Totally missed queen c6. Oh my god. Completely missed this move. Jesus Christ. That's like the most obvious move ever, and I missed it entirely. Wow. This is crazy. I missed queen c6 altogether. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, obviously I had to give back the exchange. Shit. I had to play like queen e4 and give back the exchange. Black's a bit better. Maybe more than a bit better. I can probably draw. The way I played it is really stupid. Now I'm like lost. Probably lost now. Wow. He gets excited and panics when he's winning. I used to do that all the time. He was winning. He has to take the draw now. How is that not a threefold? Oh my god. How could I miss queen c6? Wow. That was terrible. I'm so bad. So bad, dude. I was winning, but rook e3 is a hard move to find. These winning moves are very hard to find. I think I would have probably found it in a tournament game. This is a very strange move. And rook f4 also. Both controlling e4. So he was gambling. I mean, this is a bad game by both of us. Black was just totally gambling. And I just missed queen c6 altogether. Wow. Never saw queen c6. I don't know why I had a total space on that. And then he finds the fancy rook sack, but queen d3 wins. I have to lose the exchange, right? Rook b1 was my big mistake. I have to lose the exchange with like rook b2. Camel Culture wins the tournament. Wow. 25-51. I can't even read. 25-41 Camel. Performance. You did lose one game. You lost to Redusa. but impressive to be 25-41 after losing a game there. My performance was 22-81. Horrible. I lost a game and, well, I drew. How many did I draw? 2? 2 draws. 2 draws and a loss for me. Second place, Mickey, not bad for rusty player, finishing third. Clearly very rusty. Mickey, you need to play more. Praying Mantis in fourth. He's rated like 1400. No, Praying Mantis 1800. And a lot of games there. Redusa only getting 5th place. Kawazu left, I think, after a good start. Ruslan Bear, the African Genius, is new. Pili and Stefano 8 also. I haven't seen them in a while. So, Jeroen, nice to see you. I didn't even realize you were here. So we got 25 players finally. Gobble Roll Mops. Zen Chess disappeared at some point. I think he was tired from touring the Grand Canyon. Anyway, it turned out to be a good tournament. We had 25 players. I started with like 8. We started with 8 or something, and then at the end of the day, 2.5 hours is a long arena, so we got to 25. But Zen Chess donating 20 gift subs and 1,000 bits, and we had a bunch of subscriptions like Camel Culture, a number of players subscribed, and I'm looking good, not like drunk. So I feel good about that. Anyway, yeah, someone mentioned tomorrow night is our Thursday analysis stream. So I'll be streaming, and you guys, if you are subscribers, if you did get a gift sub, or you are a subscriber anyway, you can send us one of your games to analyze in tomorrow night's stream. So please do so, okay? And tell your friends about the stream, because we need more viewers. Otherwise, I have to play high-stakes Omaha poker, and that's a lot of stress. So I'll see you guys. I'd rather stick to just chess streaming. Stress streaming. Stress-free chess streaming. Non-drunk version. What do we got? Another follower? NFT Record Shop has followed. Thank you guys. I'll stream you later. I'm not fried. I'll see you